What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K back again with another episode of SSC Podcast. SSC Podcast episode 81 to be exact. And it seems like we've been away forever. I know, it's all on me. I had to move stuff and had to throw stuff away. And I was just joking with these brothers before we went live. I said, this is my last move anywhere. If I move again, it will be into a casket. So you have nothing to worry about. With that being said, let me introduce to you the panel of the hour, or two, depending upon how much we got to talk about stuff. First and foremost, my good friend, Peter Cottontail. Peter, how are you doing today, man?
Chilling, man. Gaming. I got to work today. Now I'm just relaxing, and I've been so excited to get back on the podcast.
Yeah, I see. Hey, look, it's unrelated to Stadia, but I see you grinding it out on that Halo, man. You loving that Halo?
Oh, man, that Halo's so fun. Like, the progression needs work, but that core game is amazing.
Yeah, I'm still like unpacking boxes and stuff, and I really haven't gotten to the groove of things. But as soon as I get
don't
everything
hop on there,
know.
it's free to play. You need to get on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna stop playing around, definitely. Next up is our good friend Ninja Guy X of Stadium Connect North and also of SSC Podcast and so many other things that he got going on. Ninja Guy X, how's it going?
Hey, doing great. Welcome back, MM2K. It's been a while. I'm happy for you to come back, and it's going to be very exciting. Some exciting news. Can't wait. You guys have been playing Halo. I've been trying to play some 9 to 5, getting ready for when it comes to Stadia. So looking forward to that.
Awesome. I did catch some of that stream. It's gonna be an interesting thing. You know what? Because I like Rainbow Six Siege, but I like the feel of that 9 to 5 too. You know what I'm saying? I like what I saw from your stream, so I definitely can't wait to hop into that. So
yeah.
All right. Last and certainly not least, our good friend and latest addition to the podcast, Daryl Smock Jr. Daryl, how you doing today, man? What's up, Smock?
And I'm feeling great, man. I'm doing good. Like everybody else, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be back. I feel like we've been gone for too long, but you know what? We back, and we about to get it. We about to get into this news. Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, look, man. What's it been like grinding out on Destiny as of late, man? I've been hearing some good quality of life stuff with Destiny. Is that true, or is people just blowing hot smoke?
No, everything next week on Tuesday after 10 a.m. Remember what I said? That Destiny is a huge game. Watch the queue when you try to log into Destiny for like the first couple of hours. There's gonna be like over 10,000 people trying to play Destiny. Easily watch. But yeah, the 30-year anniversary is next week on Tuesday. They're gonna release a lot of like nostalgia guns. They're gonna make a big change to the PvP, which I'm super excited for. And man, it's great. I'm not gonna have no life.
That's what gaming's all about, man. Just to like isolate yourself from the world and things crumble around you, but you're still having fun wherever you're playing your games. That's what it's all about. Y'all heard us first from Daryl Smock, man. Be ready for them long queues, man. Better roast some marshmallows, have some tea, waiting to get in those queues. Destiny's gonna be hot next week. I can't wait myself. All right. with that said, let's do our regular preliminaries. This is SSC Podcast, part of the PNTS Network. We air usually every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, but because of me, it's all on me. Yes, it is all on me. We're airing at a special time today, so we're thankful for all of you that can definitely join us. We appreciate it. Do us a huge favor. Tweet this out. Let everybody know that we're live, and I'm going to shout out the chat real quick. We got Joe McFlow in the house. Joe, what's up, Joe? ICAN47C, also known as Dustin Oran, a good friend. Mr. Postmaster, what's going on? Who else we got in? We got Christopher Torres, he says here, listening. Victor Del Maestro says, hiya. Chariot Man Gaming in the house. Stadia Pro Gaming in the house as well. We got Jason Lloyd. What's up, Jason Lloyd? And we got C Pro here as well with the nice wave. Again, do us a huge favor. Let everybody know that we're live. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, all that stuff. And two, if you got something that you want to say to the chat and we happen to miss it, and you're like, oh, no, you guys can't miss this. Feel free to hit that super chat button. Not only highlights your comment, but it goes a long way to highlight the platform as well. All right, let's do this. Enough from me. Let's go around the table and see what everybody's been playing last week. Let's work in reverse. Daryl Smock, we'll start with you. What have you been playing last week? Since last week.
I've been playing a lot of Destiny 2, of course. I've also been playing. I've been playing a Crew 2, cool. For a lot. Yeah, the little taxi missions. They're like the Crew 2 is my place to like when I'm like upset with Destiny. I'll play the Crew. I come and drive around, put on some music, drive, mess around with random people that's in the streets. I've also been playing. I played a little bit of Riders Republic last week, and I've also been joining Jim for his live stream. He goes live like a couple times a week, and he plays like Dirt 5, the Crew 2. He plays like some racing games, and then he like interacts with the people. So I've been joining that. That's been pretty fun as well.
Oh yeah, I have noticed those streams from Jim. Awesome stuff. Always good to see good streams from him. But definitely, and if you guys aren't aware, Daryl Smock, his link is in the description below. He does some fantastic Destiny streams. You can go directly to his channel, or you can go to pntsnetwork.com. You know how we do. Let me show you something. You go right here to this little website right here called pntsnetwork.com, and you can check out our good friend Daryl Smock Jr., Peter Cottontail as well. Check out their member pages. Go past that crap. Look at the pages, and then you'll see a nice picture of Daryl Smock Jr. and all of his streams you'll be able to see there. All right, so definitely check them out. All right, let's work in reverse. Who we got next? I think we got Ninja Guy X. Ninja Guy X, what have you been playing since last week?
Yes, so I've been playing a lot of stuff, actually. I like to keep myself up to date with whatever is releasing, right? And so the boxing, the Black Friday deals came up, so I went ahead and bought a few games. I give Outriders a try, which was super fun. I loved the beginning of the story, man. It brings you right into it. Then I've been playing some what else have I been playing? I've been playing some Sekiro. I've played about 2 hours of that. Yeah, man, that game, like, you need some good reflexes, right? And it's crazy how good it works with Stadia. I just can't believe it. It's a very good game to showcase the platform, Mm-hmm. And then I've been playing something else. I can't remember what else I bought Marvel's Avengers, which is also fun. I played with my friend the Cowboy, Mr. Anthony, which was super fun. But this week I've been playing some Transformers Battlegrounds from the pro games, and I'm having a blast. I think I'm going to finish it. I'm really into strategy games, so it's been really fun. And other than that, like I mentioned, I've been playing some 9 to 5 just to get ready for Stadia. But unfortunately, there's not a lot of people playing right now. There's about like 12 people worldwide playing.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, on PC. So it's hard to get in a match. But I was able to get in a few ones, and it's really fun. So far, I personally like it more because, as someone who just got into Siege and just got into 9 to 5, I think that 9 to 5 is easier to understand. So the learning curve is a little bit less hard. So yeah, it's been fun. I can't wait for it to come on Stadia. And yeah, that's about it for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
And last but not least, our good friend Peter Cottontail. Peter, have you been able to play any Stadia games or any games period besides Halo 2? What's been going on?
Actually, yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm right here on Destiny right now because of a discussion we're gonna have later about keyboard and latency and all of that. And I haven't played Destiny in a minute, so I figured I'd check it out. I was actually, as a matter of fact, playing yesterday. I started Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered, so that's been great. I love Assassin's Creed games. I don't care which one it is. I play them all. I also been playing Wreckfest. Wavetail is an amazing game. I still have to get started on the Falconeer. And I'm really, really looking forward to Chorus when that comes out because that comes out tomorrow.
Jesus.
So I've been playing a few games. I've been bouncing between my PC and Stadia. You know how it goes.
Great stuff. Well, I kind of have my crutch game too, like Daryl Smock Jr., where he says his is Crew 2. Mine's is Madden, of course. And I got Madden 22. I just refused to play it. Like, I just redid my roster on Madden 21 last night, and I just can't let it go. So I got to, someone's going to have to like digitally wipe Madden 21 from my library.
So I can still on Madden 21. I can't believe it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. And then look, I've played Madden 22, y'all. It plays better. I just can't let go of Madden 21 for some reason. It's just, this is why I shouldn't get into sports games. But that's what I've been playing. I've been playing some Division. I played some Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And from an interesting, I noticed something interesting. Like, for a good couple of months, when you played Ghost Recon Breakpoint on Stadia, you could be in the 4K performance mode, like hard set in your performance, but yet you could still toggle between the 60 and the 30 frames per second mode within the game, which you normally couldn't do before. You could do that in some games like Marvel and Cyberpunk and stuff like that, but it wasn't like that for Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So you could do that. So I thought that was cool. Now all of a sudden you can't do that. But what I've noticed is that the 4K mode looks better. It seems a little bit higher than 30 frames per second. And the 1080p 60 mode is a hardcore 60 frames per second. That's all fine and dandy, but Ubisoft, if you can bring back the toggle within the game, I would be excited. And also, I would like to see you get that. If you can get that performance mode to look as good as Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I might send you some holiday cookies and some,
this guy.
Because I love Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's a great looking game.
Valhalla is a great game. Performance mode or quality mode. Yeah. What a fantastic game.
Yeah. I was gonna say I'm actually impressed by the update. Like ever since Motherland came out, Operation Motherland, that game has been running. It's been running excellent. It's way smoother. And for some reason on my monitor, I'm defaulted to the performance mode. Like I don't know how to switch out of it. But I'm not complaining. But I don't know. But I'm definitely enjoying the how it runs now. I just wish more people played so we could do some PvP and Breakpoint.
Yeah. Breakpoint is one. They really did a good job with that game. They can still, I think they can still do a little bit more, but I really enjoy it. I'm thinking about like starting all over again from the beginning because I noticed when I went into game 2, y'all, it was like, you can play the main story, or now you can play the unfiltered story. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, so you put a whole new game into this? I'm like, no, I got to start from the beginning. So I'm gonna try that. I might do a series with that. Also, I played some more Division 2, of course, and as you know, Division 2 is adding, I don't think they added it quite yet, but they are adding this feature called the expertise updates, where it's like a never-ending update cycle. So you can continuously grow your weapons and your gear and stuff like that. So I'm excited for that. So I'm trying to like get ready for that and learning how that works. So all right, and that's it. I mean, I see y'all in the chat. You're like, the backlog is backlogged. Yes. Oh, the backlog is crazy.
Yeah, the backlog is pretty bad. My backlog is horrible right now.
It's nuts. So yeah, I got to go through that. We got to do. There's just too much content out there that could be made with all this stuff. All right. With that
I
said,
still
that is
haven't
what we've
beaten
been playing.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, Cyberpunk. Yep. All
Oh,
that.
you know what? I actually just got back into Cyberpunk. Dude, I missed that game. That's such a great game, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really is. But I think this time what had happened was I was so hyped for the game that I ended up watching the game, watching people play the game more than actually playing the game.
Man,
That's what I
you
wanted to
gone and
avoid.
ruined you ruined the experience.
I'm not tripping though. I'll get back. I mean, no, the story is still good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. That
That's
game
what
is
I wanted
just
to
amazing.
avoid. Yeah. That's why I just like barricaded myself from watching the game and all the other stuff because I don't want the game spoiled. All right, there's something that I added at the last minute, y'all, and hopefully you can appreciate it on the panel because I definitely want to get your thoughts on this, and then everybody that's listening on the other side of these mics will appreciate this. You know how we do. Let me show you something. So this is a tweet that came from Stadia Natasha's. I know I butchered that, but it's a tweet that they put out courtesy of our good friend from the Nerf Report, Brian Chappelle's video. And this blew my mind. I want to know what you guys think about this, and I got to be a good host because I shout out to Project Storm in the chat. I know he's sitting there like, Moss, what are you doing? So I got to be a good host, and I got to share the screen with y'all so I know what the hell I'm so excited about. Let's go live. Bada boom, bada bing. There we go.
Perfect.
It says when you translate it, the pro subscription at Google Stadia offered more games, more value, and more savings than PlayStation Plus and Xbox Gold in 2021, courtesy of Brian Chappelle. And it gives you a listing of all three services. PlayStation Plus, which is, and let me precursor with this. We are not comparing PlayStation Now. We are not comparing Game Pass because those are kind of like rental services. What PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live games with Gold are that they are services that give you other amenities. You know what I'm saying? And one of the amenities is you get additional games. So when you look at the additional games that came with PlayStation Plus, which just really shocked me, because PlayStation Plus was always considered the creme de la creme. They gave you 37 games in 2021 with a value of 1,430 USD. Look at games with Gold, they gave you 44 games, but they didn't even crack 1,000 USD. It's $969.57 USD. But when you look at Stadia, that platform that has no games, right? They gave you 57 games with a USD of $1,573.44. That's more than $140 value over PlayStation. I'm not even going to try to do the math for Xbox because I just can't. Who wants to take that first? What do you guys think about this value proposition with Stadia Pro? Who wants to jump
Let me
in?
go.
You
Okay.
got it.
Man, when I saw this, I was like, there's no way, man, because you had all these people all up on Twitter talking about, oh, look at all these games for Gold, look at all these games for Plus, talking about Pro has no value. And then here you go, shout out to Brian pulling up all the data. Man, turns out Stadia not only added more games, but you saved more games, and PlayStation came close, props, but Xbox, I'm sorry, I love you with Halo and everything, but like they got blasted out the
Yeah.
water value-wise, like immensely. Um, that's like approaching $1,000 difference somewhat. But yeah, I'm actually pleasantly surprised to see that, and it's starting to show that they are upholding their promise of Pro is essentially paying off for the developers big time.
Yep.
So it's really nice to see. I'm actually enjoying it. I'm just like looking at the numbers, and hold on, I actually have a picture myself. So that's the 2021 overview. So in total savings, that's just game wise. In total savings, PlayStation was $1,310. Stadia was $1,453.33. And then Games with Gold was $849.57 for
Wow.
like straight up total savings. So
Yeah.
either way, Stadia is still like absolutely blowing both of the other two big platforms like out of the water cost wise. And that is the very reason why I have a gaming rig and I still play Stadia, because you save so much more.
Exactly. Anybody else want to hop on that? What were your thoughts when seeing these numbers?
Yeah, for sure. So it's pretty impressive. Of course, I like to see a list of games with all of them just to compare the value, the personal value, right? Like if these games look good or not. I know I don't want to discuss too much about it because we discussed about it before the show, and you probably have some stuff to say about it in M2K. But yeah, so one thing that I wish that we had, so something to consider is that PlayStation Plus monthly is a lot more expensive than Stadia, but PlayStation Plus has a yearly subscription, so it'd be very nice to see Stadia maybe compete with that, right? Maybe have a yearly subscription where it's, you save a little bit of money and just for competition. Not that Stadia is expensive or anything, but it's just something cool. And then Games with Gold, like I didn't even know that it existed still since yesterday. But the library there doesn't seem to have a lot of value. They seem to be pushing more towards Game Pass now, so it's probably why we're seeing maybe less value in their games as of right now. But yeah, Foremost pretty much covered it up. It's very exciting, very cool to see that they're bringing up their game. They're putting a lot of money in this, and we're getting lots of value in comparison to other services.
Yeah, absolutely. Smart. What are your thoughts on that graphic, man? I mean, look, you've already heard. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news for you, Smart, and I really wanted to say this earlier, but I just got off the phone with my good friend, the all-seeing eye, Tom Warren, and he told me Stadia plays horribly, and there's no need of playing it, and that it's full of junk games and crap games. So, would you agree with that, or do you think that this is a great value to the platform?
I wholeheartedly disagree. Stadia, this is like, I'm surprised that Stadia is like crushing it with the value, but then again, it's like it's Stadia, like this is their bread and butter. Like Stadia, like Pro is Stadia's bread and butter, and they just been crushing it. They've been crushing it. I'm pretty sure if you go back 2 more years, the deficit would be even bigger. Because if you compare 2020, 2020 to, I'm pretty sure they won. I'm pretty sure their deficit would be even bigger. Like this is Stadia. This is what they do. You feel me? Is good news, and it's really good for the service. And people, all the naysayers and the doubters, it's like, bruh, I just feel sorry for them because they're missing out.
They're creeping up, man. I can't wait. I've been telling people, I was like, y'all can bash it all you want, but I was like, they're creeping up, and it's going to be so satisfying when it happens.
Man, there's been a big boost also recently with the discounts of this the discounted price, and I think it's bringing a lot more players now.
Yeah, the discounts were nice. Unfortunately, I already had most of like all of it because I've been on Stadia for like 2 years. But anyway, it's still worth it. Very, very, very much worth it.
I'm gonna be getting Marvel's Avengers because I'm just sad that they just came out the Spider-Man DLC and it's only for PlayStation. Like, bruh. That hurts my soul. I love Spider-Man.
Please don't get me started on that because the Spider-Man animations look like
the Spider-Man looks like they're doing yoga.
It looks like garbage. Do not get me started on that.
Even though it probably looks like garbage, the fact that it's Spider-Man, and we could play as Spider-Man outside of a Spider-Man game. Come on,
bro. But you look at that Spider-Man. You look at that Spider-Man, right? And then you look at the Spider-Man game, and I mean, I get that the Spider-Man game, that Spider-Man will be better, Like,
in
I
every way.
it looks like that the Avenger Spider-Man honestly looks like a really bad cloning project went wrong, and then they just shoved the reject onto
You
the
know what that
exclusive.
Spider-Man looks like? Who I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't seen Hawkeye yet. But remember when Hawkeye was watching that play about the Avengers at the first episode? I don't know if y'all seen it. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. It's the most hilarious thing where they got this guy dressed as like the Hulk and he got on a green hoodie and it's like crappy paint on his face and stuff. It looked like a thrift version of Spider-Man, nonetheless. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, hopefully it's still fun with him in there, but you know, I like the game altogether. It was just funny seeing him doing those yoga animations. You know, hopefully they can fix that. You know what I mean? The Billy Blanks animations, but yeah, a lot of great value on Stadia. This really shocked me. What really shocked me, y'all, was the fact that Stadia not only had more games than PlayStation, but they created a better value. Like in PlayStation, really, I mean, they have PS Now, and they're really not going too heavy with PS Now like how Xbox is with Game Pass. So they still put a bulk of their attention on their PS Plus service, which makes sense because the PS Plus service is the most money-making service that they have. And I was just shocked to see that Stadia, but this is what they got to do, you know. But Stadia had not only more value, but more games than PlayStation Plus. And that's all we hear. You know, what is this? What is this service without games, right? Well, you got more games and you got more value this year. So interesting
Right.
stuff.
That's true.
Interesting stuff.
That is true.
With that said, it doesn't stop there, folks. Let's go on. That wasn't even our first topic. Let's go on to our first topic, which is Dynasty Warriors. We want to talk about Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires and Rainbow Six Siege's free weekend. We want to get into all that taste. First, let's start with Dynasty Warriors 9. Wow, what a shock announcement today. They announced that it was coming to Stadia along with Jack. Here, let me pull it up. Let me show you something. So it says, next up on Stadia, the Jackbox Party 7 and Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires coming soon. It may be the last month of 2021, but more games are still on their way to Stadia. This week, we're revealing that Jackbox Party Pack 7 and Dynasty Warrior 9 Empires. First up on December, the Jackbox Party Pack. I can't say that. Try saying that fast 5 times. Just a few weeks ago, we got the JPP 8. That's what I'm going to call it. And all that good stuff. And now we got Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires and JPP 7 below. And stay tuned for more information closer to launch. Let me see here. I want to get to Dynasty Warriors 9, as you can see. So
yeah, me too.
We're getting JPP 7. But Dynasty Warriors 9 by Kyle Tecmo Games. This is a new release in the Empire series featuring a mix of thrilling action and country capturing simulation, experience the human drama of the Three Kingdoms in a way only Empires can provide. Fight exciting castle sieges and manipulate the country's politics. Welcome to Empire's experience, combining 1 versus 1,000 action of Dynasty Warriors with the addition of tactical elements. Dynasty Warriors 9 Empire sets players on a quest to conquer ancient China by combining the use of strategy and sword. Let's work in reverse. Let's start with Ninja Guy X. Ninja Guy X, what are your thoughts about this game coming to the platform? Is this and also, do we know if this is dropping day and date?
It is not. No,
It is not.
I don't think so because there's no actual release date. But actually, regarding that, I was just looking on there. I was looking Twinfinite .net did a article on the game coming out, and there's no release date for Stadia. But it also says that there's a demo that will be released in the West in early 2022, which gives me hope that there's a possible Stadia demo because it says whatever you do on the demo. So it says in the demo, gamers are able to experience the evolved sieges. You can do the invasion battles and defense. You can try out the full version of the edit mode. It has the complete creation of your character and abilities, and then on top of that, whatever you do on the demo, so your officer data and everything can be transferred to the full game as long as you're playing on the same platform for the demo and then the final game. So that's nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Dynasty Warriors. There has to be like 39 Dynasty Warrior game, like close to half.
Dynasty Warriors is my life, dude. I just like those like massive battles where you just go in 1 versus 1,000 and just wreck everything.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Bro, I love it. I love Dynasty Warriors.
So, Ninja Guy X? I don't know if we got your full thoughts on. I had to step away and remind my wife that she was by my door yelling and screaming at the kids, like if she could stop. But Ninja Guy X, did you give your thoughts on this being added to the catalog and how it could bolster Stadia's catalog? Remember, we don't get no more new games. Remember that? What are your thoughts on
I was about to talk about that. Yeah, so the game is releasing on other platforms on February. Okay. And then they mentioned on Twitter that it's going to release later on Stadia. No date. Okay. They just said later. If it's just a few months, I'm patient. I'll wait for it. It's very exciting. I was a big fan of the PlayStation 2 era of Dynasty Warriors. And then on PlayStation 3, they didn't caught my attention much for some reason. But this one looks solid and it's going to be really cool. A good grind fest. That's the kind of game where you just grind your Musu officers and level them up and get new weapons on them. You guys are familiar with like Hyrule Warrior, right? And these types of games. It's just really fun. So you mentioned something in MM2K. We're not getting any new games and stuff. That's what's crazy. Like this just shows that we're still getting some crazy games out there. Like this is a big announcement. Yes. You when we're looking at the upcoming games list on Reddit, it's not too big, but it's just because they don't announce it right away, and it's just amazing. Like very happy that we're getting this. So just exciting. I think the last AAA games that got announced before that was Chorus. So there was a big gap, but it's it's promising. We're getting new stuff, so yeah, can't wait.
Smart, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, you gave us a little bit. You love the game, but how big is it for Stadia that is coming to the platform?
So I'm thinking. So the thing that comes to mind is the audience that this is going to appeal to. It's going to appeal to, I think, people that's kind of in our age range. So a lot of people are going to look at this and going to get nostalgia because playing this is back on, I think, the original PlayStation for me. It's like, yo, I love this game. This game, like I used to spend hours and hours, like what you said, like running around conquering, trying to go get the boss and everything, and just see like a big all-out warfare game, and I love samurais. Samurais is awesome. So it's like this game could potentially be really huge for Stadia.
Hey, Smock, your mic, the gain might be up a little bit. It's popping a little bit.
Yeah, you're crackling a little bit.
Crackling. Yeah, so it's coming a little hot.
Is it coming in? Is it better or is it?
Yeah, it's good now. Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I think this game could be really huge for Stadia. I love Dynasty Warriors, all of them. I think.
Yeah. You know what? My brother's girlfriend used to play Dynasty Warriors all the time, and I used to just look at her and be like, why are you playing that game? Like, ugh. Until 99 Nights came to Xbox 360. I don't know if you guys remember that game. And then I said, oh, yeah, okay, now I get the allure. 99 Nights was kind of some of that. So was Kingdom Under Fire. Like, Dynasty Warriors kind of bred like these different games that people don't even realize. And even though they faded away, and they've gone away. I've seen, shout out to somebody who, Arturus Towers said, I enjoy Kingdom Under Fire. I used to play Kingdom Under Fire all the time. That's really one of my top 5 games from that era, was that game. And that's all derived from from Dynasty Warriors. So I think that this is big. Someone else mentioned that this continues to show the strength that Stadia has in getting these Japanese games, which is important. It's very important for the growth of the platform. We have games on the platform that Xbox can't even make deals on. You know what I'm saying? Like we got Octopath Traveler first. We got the NIS games, the Cold Steel and the other games, and Xbox doesn't have them. So that just shows you that even in our infancy, that this platform is making some serious moves, and I think it's great stuff. Final thoughts from everybody in regards to Dynasty Warriors about we don't get any games. Stadia ain't got no more games. All we're playing is Division 2.
Yeah, Stadia mentioned that they were gonna expand on new genre for the platform, and this is absolutely a new genre, right? We don't have this kind of game, so there you go. Then we got World War Z coming out. We have Zombie Army, but World War Z is a good addition to something that we don't have, and we'll see what else we got. Really looking forward for like a quick arcade shooter. So X Defiant is one that's gonna fill that.
Just barely to play that game.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play that one. Oh, woo! I'm not. You know what? I'm gonna say this too. I got to be very careful of how I say this. But Stadians, I got access to something that I know you will enjoy.
Stop it.
And my God. Like, I was like, is my time with this thing over? No. So, like, don't believe the naysayers when they're like, oh, there's nothing to look forward to, but maybe this, that, and the other. And trust me, I don't know everything. This is just one thing that I got to partake in. There's going to be some cool stuff coming down the pike. I really feel that 2020, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, but 2021 was more like a pivot year to where they kind of like stepped away from all the snazz and pizzazz when they're announcing stuff. And they said, you know what, let's temper expectations a little bit to try to step away from the drama the best way that we can. You know what I mean? We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I really do think some cool stuff is coming in 2022. You know what I mean? So
Moss, please stop torturing me.
I know
Please.
I'm torturing that dude. It's you know what kills me? I just want to say this. And I'm not going to go too much in a tangent. There are just some entities that find doom and gloom in everything. You know what I'm saying? Stadia, somebody from Stadia had 8 ketchup packets and they only used 7. Oh my God! Does that mean that Stadia's over? You know, they find doom and gloom in everything. And I was listening to something that was being said that kind of was related to me. And I said, now I can see, like, people just pull stuff out of their rear end just for attention on social media. And I want to tell people, I don't want to name any names, I just want to tell people, just follow the evidence, just follow the facts. There are some of us that are out there that simply just like to hear ourselves talk. You know what I mean? And I'm not upset about anything in relation to me. What gets me riled up is when people are misled. When people see certain things affiliated with certain sources and they say, oh, they wouldn't press send on that unless they know what they're talking about. I'm here to assure you that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? I was a victim of some off the wall, crazy, goofy, I don't want to say crazy, but goofy assumption. You know what I mean? And I said, it doesn't surprise me because stuff from this realm gets made up everywhere. So just follow the information, follow the facts, look at the source blogs, look at what Stadia is saying. It may not always be the flashiest, and yes, sometimes you might have to say, hold on, can you clarify that? But, you know what I mean? But all this doom and gloom stuff and worrying about how many ketchup packets they have in their saucer pan or whatever, ignore that stuff. Because all you're going to do is make yourself for lack of a better term, a hypochondriac over the health of Stadia like they are. So just ignore that crap.
Yeah, and if you have,
you know what, I like Review Tech. He's a smarter guy than his content.
No, that dude
He's a
dude
smarter guy
has
than his content. I
he
don't watch his content, but he's smarter than his content.
if you say so, bro, but like this dude has got some massive issues with Stadia. Okay, if this dude is smarter than his content, then you're basically telling me that he's just bullshitting his content because he needs clicks, which is sad.
Ding dong, ding ding dong. That's all I can say. I mean, and this is the realm that we're in, though, Pete, and you know this.
I know. It's just it's sad. It's
the blind leading the blind sometimes, and sometimes
it's so sad.
People,
I just really
Go ahead, Smart.
I just really wish more of the average people knew better than to just like blindly believe what they see like on Twitter. I wish more people did on reach like how it used to be, bro. Not like I might be showing my age, but man, I just miss the old days where we just buy the magazines, look at a quick review of the game, and then play the game. You feel me? Like not a lot of people. So many people are so reliant on somebody else's opinion on whether something is good. It's like I wish more people would step away from is not listening to other people or take everything with a grain of salt and just do it for yourself. Play the game for yourself. Like Stadia, that to me has been one of Stadia's biggest challenges is getting to people
just to play it.
to just try the game, to just try Stadia for yourself and actually see, that it's not what everybody, what the big media companies say what it is, It's like, man, that's been Stadia's biggest challenge, and but Stadia is still doing well for itself. Like we also have to look at like people that are talking on Twitter is barely 1%. Of the entire market, So there's people like me, like people like me, I've stepped back from looking at all the media outlets about Stadia. It was getting out of hand. So now I'm just telling myself like, Stadia's in a good spot right now. They're not doing as much announcements anymore, which is good and bad, kind of, because we like to have something to look forward to. But then again, we understand that Stadia they're just putting their heads down and just trying to, get everything in order. They're just trying to follow the plan that they have, and stay out the media, because I think Stadia realizes what we see. And I think that's the whole reason why they're doing what they're doing, So I know Stadia's in a good spot. I just wish people did more of their own research.
Yeah. I mean, your thoughts on this, Ninja Guy X, real quick, and then we'll move on. Like, what are your thoughts on? Because if you look at Stadia right now, like I just put a link out there earlier today, you can play Rainbow Six Siege right now, like the same device that you're listening to us on. Bear in mind, if you don't have a controller with you, you got to use touch controls, but still. Xbox put something out there where they said 30% of its gamers are using touch controls. So, for us old fogies, right, that don't want to move anymore, touch controls is a problem. But for the younger people, it's not a problem. On the same device that you're listening to this fantastic podcast with this fantastic panel, you could play Ghost Recon, or you could play Rainbow Six Siege. You can play any of those games, but you can play Rainbow Six Siege, no strings attached, through the entire weekend. What do you think Stadia has to do, Ninja Guy X, to make people realize that and get past the noise?
Oh, it's a tough question, man, because it is a tough question because they still have to not subscribe, but to get into Stadia, they still have to like create an account, right? And that's the hard part. That's the hard part to make people go in. They just don't want to do that. They just, that's why the trial is good, but it's still hard to get people to make that. To make people understand that, and I don't know if it's good. a good place to talk about to start talking about the subject of mouse and keyboard lag with stuff. And I know that Foremost has some stuff to talk about that. So, yeah. Other than that, I don't really have much to talk about that. So maybe I'm just gonna let Peter go ahead and talk about.
I want to say one thing really quick.
Yeah, definitely.
MMU asked what does state have to do to get more people to try it. Bro, just back Stadia. They could do what they did when the game first launched, when Stadia first launched. They did do more pop-up shops like what they was doing. If you want to get Stadia into people's hands, bro, do more pop-up shops. What they was doing when they was going on within that little van, and just parking up places and say, hey, sending out an email saying, hey, do you want to come try Stadia? Well, here's this, like what they got, bro. This might sound bad, but they got our information. They know they kind of have an idea on who is interested and hasn't really tried it versus who is actually playing Stadia. Everybody already has a Gmail account, so the hardest part of making a profile is thinking of a gamer tag. To me, that's the hardest part, and probably setting it up on a Chromecast if you don't have one. But bro, more pop-up shots, that's the easy solution. That'll easily get a couple thousand people talking about it. I remember just really quick, it was like a couple months ago, I let a friend try Rumble Six Siege on my phone. And while I was at work, bro, he was hooked. Within 30 seconds. Literally. We were standing there in the middle of our office. He was standing there playing it on his controller, like on the Stadia controller. Of course, it only lasted like a couple minutes because we had to put it away. But still, it's like, bro, it's just let people play it and they'll get hooked. I promise you.
You're right, Smock. It's really all about convincing people to just try it. That's how it is. It's like a zombie. You bite someone and you become a zombie. It's the same thing with Stadia. You just give them the controller and then they'll understand how it works. There's no lag. It's not how there's just a mindset that they have to get out of.
Before we go to the next full subject, according to the guy that I was on the phone with, and we're going to let Peter embellish on this, Stadia is full of lag. It's horrible.
Oh, definitely.
Destiny MNK. I mean, Pete, what are your thoughts on this, right? Has Stadia been exposed?
No. What? No, bro. Like, I'll admit that originally when it first released, that latency on mouse and keyboard was absolutely horrifying, which is why I always stuck to the controller. But over the past 2 years, it's improved dramatically. And on top of that, because Mr. Warren is actually lost in the Warrens, and I don't know what's going on with him right now, because he started up a storm talking about the latency is unplayable on mouse and keyboard. Tom, if you're listening to this, please turn off mouse smoothing in your settings like you do with any other game, and I promise you will have such better time, because I'm pretty sure that's common knowledge that mouse smoothing will generally create latency issues. And then this goes for any game, whether it's cloud or local. Have mouse smoothing turned off everywhere that it's available. So it's like I will never actually understand.
But if you say that to Tom, you know what he'll probably say back, Pete?
That I'm a Stadia stan?
No, there's settings. I mean, he does no due diligence on anything. I can change. There's
I don't even think he does due diligence on his own journalism, dude. Like, this dude is like, he's Tom. Me and you need to have a talk, Mr. Warren, because you have been just a delight to just watch descend into madness. So but like, back on topic, the latency has been absolutely fantastic. And as a matter of fact, I'm sitting here playing Outriders and the latency is like nothing. Like,
and you're correct, Peter. You're correct, because you buy a computer outright and you start Stadia. there's stuff that you have to adjust to have like the perfect experience. Like you said, the mouse acceleration is an issue. I wish it could, I wish that Stadia could turn off that setup right away before you do it. But yeah, like I tried Stadia on like 3 computers here, and there's always a little bit of tweaking I had to do to avoid latency and lag and stuff like that. So it's unfortunate in that way.
Right.
Right.
One thing that I was trying to look for Tom Warren's tweet because on his page and I couldn't find it. I didn't feel like scrolling down extra far to find the tweet. But the one thing that I would have told Tom Warren if I would have seen his tweet is there's a Destiny content creator called I Am Cool Guy.
Yes.
I believe it was back when crossplay. It was back before we had crossplay. He was literally playing Trials of Osiris, the most competitive PvP game in Destiny, exclusively on Stadia for the entire duration of the period because there was so much cheating happening on the PC side.
Yes.
Like if one of the top PvP players can come, enjoy himself on Stadia and play with the Stadia community and actually say, oh yeah, Stadia has a great community. They're really friendly and over here. There's nobody teabagging as much on PC and all that stuff. It's like, bro, just go watch any video of that cool guy makes about Destiny 2 and Stadia. He did have some issues at first because he didn't know he had to configure the settings, but he was literally there every single weekend dedicated streaming on Twitch.
And the problem is that, and I'm glad you brought that up, Smock, because if an esports or a competitive type person plays Stadia, they're going to notice the lag or any latency more than the average person. There's something called perceived latency, where anything under 200 milliseconds of latency, the average gamer isn't going to realize. But an esports player or a competitive player is going to realize it. So if he can get on Stadia, do keyboard and mouse, and not have that issue. And my son's another one. He actually does get into Rainbow Six tournaments. I don't know how because he's underage, but he gets into Rainbow Six tournaments. And he can play Destiny keyboard and mouse. Now, you'll hear him moan and complain, oh, this, that, and the other. He's a GeForce tonight. Well, but we're going to continue to pray for him now. But he loves GeForce now, and he can play Destiny. So I don't know if this is an issue with Destiny mouse and keyboard or problem with Tom. It could be, you know what I mean? But it just seems like that Tom is one of those ones that because this new GFN tier is out, and yes, it can do some amazing things. But because this new tier is out, he now wants to pivot off of that to use that to knock on Stadia. He's one of those people to where if anything anywhere else can do any good, it's a knock on Stadia opposed to it just being a stripe on the belt of cloud gaming. You know what I'm saying? So
I wasn't aware of that. So he is really up for GFN. So he's like really supporting it. Okay.
Yeah, he's really
Right.
He released an article yesterday. He made that comment. I mean, he released an article today. He made that comments a couple of days ago, I think, in preparation to that, and that's what it is. And I mean, not to get too much into GFN, I just think for the average Stadia gamer, GFN definitely the latency is superb on GFN. If you're playing it natively, like if you're playing it natively on a PC or a laptop and you're using the app. I've played it on dongles and on the phone, or whatever. You kind of lose that magic there, even in this 3080 tier. Playing it on a dongle, forget about it. You're gonna have to get an NVIDIA Shield, which I refuse to do. But to keep, I guess, that same latency or whatever. But if you're playing it natively on a PC, it is fantastic. There's just some other things though for the average Stadia gamer, like consistency, hiccups, and mainly the price, where the average Stadia gamer is going to say, okay, I can see where that's cool for you. That awesome, great for you. I'm going to stay with this and wait for this to upgrade. You know what I'm saying? So Tom was just trying to use that as a kicking point of Stadia to say, there's just better services out there, Stadia stands like Pete, deal with it. You know what I mean? So. And it's just sad because he just put his foot in his mouth. again.
Oh, he's a very, very sad person for that.
Sad isn't even a word. But with
That's
that said,
true.
enough with our good friend Turget Tom, as I like to call him, because he's so bombastic, over the top. He says the craziest things, and he like nitpicks with people, and when people respond with facts, then he blocks them. Very Turget. With that said, on to greener pastures, which is I want to talk about. I think we kind of talked about it, Rainbow Six Siege. But yeah, now it's free to play basically for everybody. And I know we talked about it, but if we can go around the table real quick, we'll start with Pete. We'll do Pete, Ninja Guy, then Smock. How big is it that you can play this without having to sign up at all? Start with you, Pete.
Man, so I want to say this is what the very first time
Yeah.
that like
Mm-hmm.
that you can like straight up play like totally free. There's no time limit besides like just the free period. You don't even need a trial, bro. You can make a brand new account if you don't have one and immediately start playing Siege. You can transfer all your stuff over. You have full crossplay. I don't really know what else you could ask for considering you could play on any device. You don't even have to waste time downloading it or installing it. So you can jump in right from the start and play all the way to your heart's content up until the period is over completely free. And
Yeah.
that's nice to see, and I'm really, really hoping that they do more of that.
Ninja Guy, how big of a deal is it to you that that you can play this without having to necessarily create an account, in order to do
Yeah.
so?
It's a big deal. But it's also very similar to Destiny, right? So Destiny is free,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you can give it a try, and
Mhm.
it works well. But the more games we get to try, the better, right? So
Mhm.
this here will bring up maybe some new players who play Siege and can give it a try and see if it's good. We have some pro players playing Siege on Stadia, which is kind of cool. And yeah, so it is definitely good. Let's hope it's a trend, and let's hope that the free. This is a free weekend play, right? Like kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, let's hope that maybe we can see that carry on forward with other games, which would be cool. Imagine like a weekend people can play Borderlands, another weekend, no
Yeah.
strings attached. That'd be pretty cool.
Yep. Awesome stuff. Um, and Smock, what do you think? How important is it that you can start playing games now without having to create a full-fledged account? I mean, you got to create an account, but you don't have to, do a month of Stadia Pro. How important is that?
I think that's one that goes back to one of the points of how do you get people to try Stadia is things
Yeah.
like this. Free play weekends is almost guaranteed to attract new people to the platform. So and Rainbow Six Siege is like one of the hottest games for competitive players. So it's really good for the system. It's really good for Rainbow Six Siege, and is in turn is going to help Stadia and it's going to help Rainbow Six Siege. Just capture new eyes on from people to give people a fresh perspective uh, um on cloud gaming.
I think so. I mean, I think what we're about to talk about with the Stadiaversary and stuff like that, I think people they're finally starting to put their knuckles down. And, when it comes to Stadia, because as soon as you hear Stadia, and I had a great conversation earlier today, which I'll get into a little bit about it, and I just think that people are realizing that this thing is going to be around, and cloud gaming is developing. It's going to be around, and having initiatives like this, I think, will be great.
Yep.
With that said, I think it's time to move on to said topic, which is the Stadiaversary in year 3 once. Now, I know a lot of people have talked about the Stadiaversary already. It's 2 weeks begone us, but we haven't talked about it here because we weren't around. So, what I want to ask the panel, I want to get their thoughts on this, is and let me do something. You know how we do. Let me show you something.
Ooh.
I gotta find the article first. That's a nice picture of Daryl Smock, by the way.
I was about to say that beautiful picture of Daryl right there.
I can leave it up there all
That's
all
funny.
day. They'll hit up our super chat. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave that up there all day.
Maybe do like a whole 1 hour podcast of just showing his face.
The Daryl Smock. We will call it the Daryl Smock image. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And that was actually done on a professional camera.
I can see. Hey, look,
Nice.
man. Shoot, I want that mic. I want that camera. Jeez, man. Shout out to Daryl Smock, man, and all his little cool little trinkets. Google celebrates second StadiaVersary with deep discounts and more. If you break it on down, we had a variety of things: new game announcements, the special bundle discounts, the game sales. I mean, in the community event and recognition. I mean, who wants to go first and just to quickly recap your thoughts on this StadiaVersary? Because remember, this thing was supposed to be dead by now. So who wants to start off first and talk about what their thoughts of the celebration?
I guess I'll go. So for my thoughts, man, Stadia, man, they came out the gate with so much heat. They came out the gate just like, just saying this is who we are, this is what our plans are, and this is what we're gonna do. And they've relatively been sticking to almost everything that they've had planned. I'll never forget when I first tried Stadia back in a Best Buy when I first ran over when I found out that from Odyssey was available to play, and I ran over to Best Buy, and I was literally trying out the game, and it felt good. Like from the moment I tried Stadia, it felt good and it was hooked. And this, like, man, Stadia hitting going into year 3, man, that's big, because it's just like it's like what more can people say besides Stadia, besides Stadia don't have no games, even though they do, like what more can people say? They can't say it's not going nowhere. We just hit our anniversary, we're gonna hit another one next year. It's like these deals and the sales and everything is just like, just them letting us know, we're here, and enjoy yourself for holiday. If you don't have a new game, here's some sales.
I think it was great stuff as well. Who else wants to pick up after Daryl Smock?
Yeah, I'll go. So yeah, I joined Stadia. It's funny because I joined around when SENG closed, and there was a lot of doubts, right? Like, oh man, like are they gonna show us something? Are they gonna show us a roadmap or something? But fast forward to today, man, Stadia is going strong, man. Like since around September, October, we've gotten so much tech out of Stadia. We got the phone link, we got like the export tab. I don't know, we got a crap load of stuff, and it just shows that Stadia is very much going strong. And I think they're focusing on tech, which is very cool. So my doubts are completely cleared off. The way that they advertise everything is questionable. I mean, people who are not inside, like in the scoop for Stadia, they still don't know what it's about, and hopefully that will change. But all of us here, as because we keep up to date, we all know that Stadia is strong and it's here to stay. So, which is pretty cool. It's very it makes me happy. It makes me confident that we're gonna see some more stuff in the future. Speaking of the future, what I'd like to see, and I don't know if we talked about that before, but anyway, so we got the new 4K streaming, direct streaming from YouTube, and because of that, now people have been demanding for the camera streaming.
Yes.
That would be so cool, man. Like I wouldn't even need to use any of my streaming stuff here. I would just use direct streaming again, because that's all it's missing. It's missing the camera, and it's so cool. It's something that I hope to see next year. But yeah, man, if they do exactly what they did this year, other than in February, next year, it's just gonna be great. If they keep coming with tech, if they keep coming with games, that's all we need.
Pete. what are your thoughts on the Stadiaversary, all of the celebrations, all that great stuff that happened for a platform that, remember, was DOA, was dead on arrival, would never see the light of day. So, I mean, I can go on and on and on. What are your thoughts on the celebration 2 years later?
Yeah, don't even get me started on it, bro. Because like the first
That's
month
why I stopped.
the first month that Stadia dropped, it immediately, oh, it's by Google. Oh, they're gonna kill it. Oh, they're gonna do this. Oh, it's not gonna live. Oh, it's not making money. Blah 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 blah. And this is all coming from the people that don't have anything to do with
Mm-hmm.
actually working on it or a part of the business or anything like that. So I'm not really sure
Yeah.
like how they
How they can
came
do
to that conclusion. But it is hilarious that it's been 2 years now. They're still improving. They're still bringing updates. They're bringing a lot of quality of life updates. They're bringing new games. They're expanding their library. They're doing everything a growing platform does. They celebrated their 2-year anniversary, dropped a whole bunch of sales that I had to avoid getting stuff on.
it.
And it's like, but it's dead, apparently. So it's like I will never understand how people can think any different that Stadia is not doing well because Twitter says that it's not. I don't care what Twitter says. I don't care what IGN or Kotaku or Verge says. Yeah, Verge, especially you, Warren. Especially you. But the sales were really nice, and it was really nice to see that Google's actually is paying attention, and they probably went to in lead and were like, hey, they're all like, we need your data. And then they
Yeah.
used his data and was like, hey, we got this, we got that, we got this, we got that, and here's the numbers. And in the end of the day, that's how people should settle things, is if you have the numbers, then
Mhm.
then you're good to go. And it was really nice seeing that. It was nice seeing all the love that they got. I
I'm tr-
really enjoyed it.
I'm trying to, and here we go. Now you guys could be able to see it. I was trying to show the card, courtesy of our good friend Four Scores Gaming, that he has out on Instagram, and I wanted to put this card up here, basically because Ninja Guy X highlighted all this stuff. I mean, if we talk about everything that Stadia themselves has brought to gaming within these 2 years, okay? Let's just think about
Hey,
this
I'm
within the 2
first.
years. This is everything that they brought to gaming. Stream Connect. They bought Stadia themselves, which is free. Oh, Stadia free. Click to play. Mobile touch controls. State share. Crowd play. Free play days. And that's not nothing new, but still. Play Stadia with mobile data. Crowd choice. Free demos and free to play games. Family sharing. Hitting 100 games. Playable on iOS, expansion into 8 other countries, 100,000 members on the Reddit, Ubisoft Plus beta launch. So now they've merged with another subscription service and open up their options even more. Direct to YouTube live streaming, which is better than anybody else's direct to YouTube live streaming, because guess why? They own YouTube.
And you
Android
can stream
Play
in
Stadia on
1440.
Android TV. 200 games, direct touch, kids and family store category, phone link, the 100th Stadia Pro game, 30-minute game trials. I want to know anybody else in their first 2 years of existence that did all this. I want to
Nope,
know.
not
No other
even
company.
PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo, not even PC can do that. Nope.
The first 2 years of existence. Can anybody in the chat? Somebody help me. Anybody?
Yeah. And that's
First 2
not
years of
Let's not
all.
forget. Let's not forget that Stadia launched with a bigger library than PS5 and Xbox One.
Yes.
Off gate,
Yeah.
That's
off rip.
also true.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's very true.
So me
And-
and MM2K, we were part of creating this, and we were struggling at what we needed to remove. There were so many features.
Exactly. Because it couldn't all fit on a card.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's nuts. And so when I had this conversation during not a one, but an open mic. It's all about lineage. Like a lot of us, either we were there or we rightfully so did the research to understand what happened way back in the day. This is a new platform. Jack Buser spoke to it. He said it's going to take some time for it to get the equal amount of respect that other platforms are, and that's fine because gamers are a finicky bunch, and that's cool. Mm-hmm. But I had a great conversation with some of my Daddy Device friends earlier today, and they're like, Google likes to act stuff, some of the same old rhetoric, right? And I want to use this game as an example. I said, because they were like, what Stadia needs to do is they got to put out a AAA banger. And I was like, that's not necessarily the case. You see GFN having success without any exclusive. They don't have any exclusive. You know what I mean? It's games that you can get off of PC. There's no exclusive content from GFN. It's just that they're giving you access to games in the cloud. Stadia's doing that. And they got some second party exclusives on top of that. But I think the biggest example that you don't judge cloud games based off of exclusive content. Not saying that they don't need it long term, but in this early stage, in this 1% stage, you can't call one a failure based off of this. You look at Amazon Luna and you look at the game New World. New World broke all types of records, right, when it first hit, right? Over 1 million concurrent players and all that other stuff. Now it's dropped, but that's here nor there. Amazon themselves wouldn't put New World on Luna because when you make a big budget game, you're making it for a big budget audience. And Luna just doesn't have a big audience because Amazon game studios, they want all their money back. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to put it in their subscription service at $5.99 for maybe 10,000 people, 30,000 people. You understand what I'm saying? So because cloud gaming in general has to get over that hurdle as far as growing its population, it's not about bringing out that big exclusive right now because the community has to trust it. Just like, and I had this conversation with your co-host, Ninja Guy X, about this, and we've had it several times. Just like how people had to trust digital games or digital copies over physical. Remember, why is digital the same price as physical? Now people feel like digital is more convenient and they don't ask those questions as much as they used to. So
mindset is changing a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's going to lead, and that's a segue to our next subject matter, but we're not done with this one yet. You know what I'm saying? So that whole motif that, Stadia's failing and all that other stuff, it's silly news. You got to look at it through the right lens, and nobody else has done all this in the first 2 years, and these are some great strides from a 1% business.
Yep.
Any
other thoughts on that until we go into year 3 once?
Yeah, there's just a little thing I'd like to add. Something that I noticed, I know that MM2K, you've been pretty much away in the last few weeks, but I've noticed like in the last maybe 3 weeks, there hasn't been anything too negative, in the community, which is awesome, man. It's been such a good month, November. We've been, people have been so positive about this, and it's nice. It's nice to have a breath of fresh air, not having weird, here you go, another negative day of Stadia. It's just nice. It's just nice that we're back at just normal and just talking regularly about Stadia.
Shout out to Ron Slusher. He did mention, shout out to Ron. He says, one of our PNTS partners, he says, let me see if I can find this comment because it's a great comment. It says, Luna got a big announcement at the upcoming Video Game Awards next week, thinky emoji. And yeah, so I could be eating those words, Ron. They could be announcing that New World is coming to Luna there. You know what I'm saying? But it says, and that's a great point. I just think it says a lot that they didn't release it there. That they want to, 1%. It's a 1% business. They want to get their money. This Luna told you. I mean, not Luna. Amazon Game Studios, which is different from Luna, they told you we're only making big budget games. They want massive games with big budgets so they can bring in a whole bunch of money. Right now, while Luna is as small as it is, they're not going to put it in Luna. Yeah, they gave it to GeForce Now, Smock. But if you think about it, GeForce Now doesn't have a subscription service when it comes to games. You still got to buy the game. So anywhere that allows you to buy the game individually, let me give you a prime example. New World hit, and Smock, I want to get your thoughts on this because I know you're big on exclusive content as well, and I totally get it. But I want to get your thoughts on this particularly. Say, look, New World hit 1 million subscribers, right? I mean, not 1 million subscribers, a million concurrent players. Now I think they say it's down to 100,000 or maybe even less than that now. Can you imagine that instead of Amazon getting $40 a pop for those people that decided to leave, those people would have played the game for only $5. You see what I'm saying? If they would have been able to try it on Luna, play it, and be like, just like how they did now, they said, you know what, I'm done. This doesn't have the retention power for me. Amazon would only got $5 for those people, opposed to getting $40. I mean, does that make sense, Daryl, or do you think there's more to it?
I think it makes sense because it's based on the prescription. So that means it's based on like playtime or whatever, I think, now with subscription. But it just goes to show the flaw of Luna. Their biggest flaw is when big games release, like New World from Amazon, they're not going to get a day and date because it's a subscription based because they're subscription based and Amazon wants the money. That's the biggest. That's insane. Like you would think, even with then again, Xbox, you could buy it and then they could just put it on there, as well. But you would think Amazon would be sort of the same way. If Amazon wants to make big games, put it out there to sell, but then also put it on Luna, just because either way, you're going to get money either way, It's like, which one is more important to you? So it's clearly, even with Amazon, selling a game is more important than getting somebody to subscribe and buy it.
To the subscription, yeah, I think the subscription thing for Amazon is long term, and they love kicking Stadia in the face, and making Stadia look, we're not doing what Stadia does. They like to do that, but they're not doing anything more. You know what I mean? So, like I said, look at that card. Look at all that stuff that Stadia's done, and like Ninja Guy said, we had to find stuff to take off. Like, what are we taking off? You know what I mean? Because we run out of space.
So, that's true.
Crazy stuff. Great conversation, by the way. So I just wanted to share everybody out. All right, so what do we want to see from Stadia in year 3? I'll start with you, Ninja Guy, then I'll go to Pete, and then I'll go to Smock. What do we want to see from Stadia in year 3?
Oh, I already gave my thought on that.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry.
That was part of the conversation, I thought. But yeah, no, I want to see the webcam integrated with direct link.
That is right. Yep, you sure did.
And I want to see the same amount of tech, and I want to see the library growing. But yeah, I'm not going to steal anybody's else spot. I already talked about it, so I'm going to move it. I'm going to move on.
Oh, no problem. Hey, Pete. Now, Pete, what is it that you? Now I know you think Stadia is perfect now, but what is it that you want to see from Stadia year 3?
Bro, Stadia is not perfect. I mean, Stadia is amazing, but like I've never once in my life in 2 years said it was perfect.
Can I steal that, Pete? I want to steal that. I like that. We're putting that on t-shirts, y'all. Stadia may not be perfect, but it's still amazing. I like that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So in year 3, I want to see a bigger library. I mean, the library is growing, and that's fine because I have a gigantic backlog. But still, I want to see a bigger library. Okay. I want to see better quality enhancements. Visual wise, I can tell that they're doing something because I'm noticing all the enhancements. It's starting to see that they're adding. It's like they're going back and they're adding options to specific games. Like a side note, for example, did you know that Outriders has a toggle for performance and quality mode now?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I had no clue. So they have that on there now. But yeah, so I want to see that. I want to see them continue to improve. The biggest thing I want to see is them finish up on their expansion to different countries because everything that's happening right now seems like they're getting ready to expand to Brazil, definitely. And like that's my absolute number one thing is them hitting Brazil, because I know Brazil is waiting. Brazil and India are both just begging for Stadia to be officially supported, and that's what I really want to see. And I know Google's capable, but I also am well aware that expansions like that take so much time, and it is not just here's a bunch of money, you could just have the expansion. No, it takes quite a bit of time to
especially
to
since it's new. It's not even it's not even,
exactly.
what do you call it? It's not even traditional. It's like cloud gaming. So it's like they
It's
have
not
to literally set up in every single country and all these different locations just to expand.
right.
Good one.
No,
Good.
I 100% agree on
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Smart. Well, first I want to do this. I want to give a shout out, a special shout out to Igor for becoming a member. Thank you so much. We appreciate your support. You are fantastic. You are amazing and perfect. Smart. What are your thoughts on this? What do you want to see year 3 from Stadia?
This guy already touched on it on my number one thing. I want to see direct streaming with the face cam. They could at least, if they could at least allow us to do it through a plugin, like how the Stadia Enhancement does or Stadia Enhance does, bro, that would be so clutch.
Yeah.
It would be so clutch. Also, I would just like what Formo said, like having them expand into other countries, because it's still, I think it's almost under literally every tweet Stadia posts is always a couple people saying, when are you coming to this country? When are you coming to this country? It's like people are literally waiting for the expansion, for them to expand. So I want to see that. And I just want to see Stadia kind of put their foot down on developers and saying, yo, stop. Like, I understand Stadia is new, and I think a lot of people don't understand that Stadia is its own platform. But I just want to see them like get more strict with 60 frames.
Yeah.
I want to because we like in 2021 going into 2022, there should be no 30 FPS, no new. I don't want to see any new 30 FPS games. Like I know a lot of people isn't going to agree, but come on, it's 2022. Let's start pumping out quality, higher frame rate games.
Yeah.
And last thing, I want to see Stadia Tech upgrade for Stadia. I want to see what that's gonna look like.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Well, there's a couple. No, that's all great stuff. There's a couple of things from developers that I want to note on that. Great stuff. This is a shortified excellent panel, and this is why we have the panel that we have, because the responses are superb. And give us your responses too in the chat. I want to underline what everybody said here on the panel with some things from some developers. First and foremost, we talked to Mantis Games here, and Mantis told us, they said, we saw the 4K 120. Oh, the 4K 120 is real. It's nothing. It's not. I mean, it's real. You know what I mean? And we said, oh, okay. They said, but this is what y'all got to take into consideration. Kind of what Ninja Guy X was alluding to. He said people got to want to develop for it. Like, you don't simply swap out the blade and then it goes do and then everything gets better. It don't work like that. More capable technology, more capable hardware also means more time and effort. You know what I mean? Like, this is why the latest version of Unreal Engine 6 is so massive and is being so held, because unlike all other game engines, whenever you come up with a more capable game engine, it didn't make coding easier. It made it more complicated because there's more stuff that you could do, but you have to code for that more stuff that you can do, right? So the same would apply to Stadia. You got this new hardware, now you got to code and develop to utilize that hardware, and that's per Mantis Games and other sources that we've heard. So it's not like xCloud or GeForce Now, where they're doing all of the tweaking in the back, and the developer just got to make the game available. It's a little bit more complicated, but I get to where seeing that extra hardware and seeing developers put in that effort is definitely something we want to see, because I want to see more 60 frames per second games, and I want to see options. Like a perfect example to me, I'm sorry y'all, even if we don't get the full 4K 120, I'm happy with what we see from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm happy with that. The 4K is crisp, is beautiful, but that 60 frames per second mode, mwah, perfectimo. That's what I would like to see out of Stadia. You got a crisp 4K 30 mode, or you got a very good looking 60 frames per second mode. So hopefully we get that. I also want to highlight something from our good friends the Soul Home Studios, the developers behind the Soul game that's out there. I can't even think of the platform that it's on. Soul Home, help me out. What is the platform that raise money on it? Kickstarter. The Kickstarter. Okay, Kickstarter effort. They say, let me see if I can find their comment. They say, now as far as the India comment and expanding to new territories, they said you have a manufacturing conflict of interest in India. Google needs to convince the Indian government to give them market access. So that's very interesting.
100%. Wow.
That's interesting stuff right there.
Crazy.
So, awesome stuff. I want to give my list. My list is going a little bit crazy, so hopefully y'all sitting down in y'all seats and all other stuff. First and foremost, akin to Smock, I want to see better performance, but here's how I want the better performance approached. I want to see more technicians deployed to companies. I think that the technicians should be deployed. I think most of them should be with Ubisoft. You know what I'm saying? Because Ubisoft seems to, they're the ones supplying the most AAA experiences here, but they seem to be having the most, quote unquote, trouble dropping the 60 frames per second day and date.
That's crazy, right?
So you're going to kind of have to do a hybrid approach. I think what you're going to have to do is you need like a Q lock. And those are the people. See, people are praising Stadia for Cyberpunk, but they're not giving their flowers to Q lock. Stadia showed, don't get me wrong, Stadia showed it was well more than capable because how it handled Cyberpunk in comparison to everyone else. But Q lock was the group that was willing to set aside the time to make that happen. Stadia needs a Q lock. They should buy Q lock. So that's hope number one, is that Stadia makes the investment in this technician core that are going to work with these groups like Ubisoft who say, you know what, all we can dedicate right now is 4K 30 or 30 frames per second, where their internal Q-Lock group can say, okay, we got it from here. And they can brush it up to 60. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you mean now.
They need a group, because Xbox has a group like that. GFN, that's how they operate. You know what I'm saying? They're brushing up the performance and stuff like that. I know Stadia is its own sole platform, but it may have to look into, again, having its own internal group go and do this stuff, because this is the stuff that is really going to mean a lot to people. I also think, so really that was two things. They really work closer with devs. They buy a Q-Lock or they create a Q-Lock, right? And I think their focus should be majority Ubisoft, majority EA. If they could get some type of partnership with EA, that would be massive, because 2K, I know things are rocky with 2K, but if we're guaranteed a Madden every year or FIFA, like Ron Slusher, mentions in the chat, he says, look, I don't see a Madden next year, I'm gone. But but those games are important to people. So if you can get these technicians to ensure that these games are here and mark out those deals, that'll be great. The last thing. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Ninja Guys. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I just want to say it'd also be nice if they could do that through the pro games, because we're paying pro for 4K 60 FPS, right? Yes. So these games would be good to be like that too.
Yes.
That's true.
That is true. The last thing and the most important thing, and always remember this before you go to bed, before you say your prayers and eat your vitamins tonight. The most important thing that Stadia needs to do in year 3 is get Dying Light 2. That's it. All right, that's all I gotta say.
Good stuff.
If you get Dying Light 2 Stadia, you don't understand how important that is to me. Stadia.
Yeah, if you get Dying Light 2, bro, I will avoid Steam like the plague.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I will get it on Stadia because like I just, you know what, there is nothing more comfortable than just sitting on the toilet and then having a Kishi and then just playing Dying Light 2.
I just did that with Madden. And I would
So
and then I play some Outriders. I'm sorry, go ahead, guys.
So what you're telling me is you were passing the football while
I did the quarter butt sneak. No, that was gross. I'm sorry. That was horrible. I'm sorry. Yeah, but no.
Since we're talking about games, I want to quickly.
So we're still talking about games here.
Yeah.
So since we're talking about wish list,
blame Pete.
Grid Legends. I didn't see any mention of Stadia for Grid Legends. If that game doesn't come to Stadia, I'm going to be so upset because that game runs beautifully.
Yes.
That game runs beautifully, and then they're going to add a story mode to it. Come on now.
Grid is so popular on Stadia right now.
Yes.
It'd be dumb not to port it, right? Like it's doing so well.
And if it doesn't, I'm gonna blame it on EA. To be honest, I don't know. It's like. But I hope that it will. I hope that it will. But the game that hasn't been mentioned that I want to see come in year 3, hopefully, is Demon Slayer. I want to see that game on Stadia.
That would be really nice.
That game would go crazy.
That would be nice. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Me personally, for my own personal taste, I didn't mind not seeing a lot of these games. Even I'm not a multiplayer person, but I knew if Battlefield was coming to Stadia, how big that would have been. So I definitely, but I'm saying for my own personal taste. But when I saw that Demon Slayer wasn't coming, I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I would love, and I know that game would run well on Stadia. So hopefully we'll see it next year. I know it would run well on Stadia. Great stuff, everybody. Great conversation. I mean, and again, we recognize that Stadia may not be perfect, but we still feel it's amazing. You know what I'm saying? So, great stuff. Last but certainly not least, I wanted to talk about this thing here. Let me see if I can pull up. So and I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on this because I've been sitting on this for 2 weeks and I'm like, man, I wonder what the panel has to say about this. Because this kind of like underscores what we've been saying about cloud gaming in general and why a lot of the dead device hogs need to just chill out a little bit. Let me show you something. Cloud gaming, according to GameIndustry.biz and the report that they have, cloud gaming is to surpass $13.5 billion by 2026. I just want to read a little bit of it. It says today, DFC Intelligence released its cloud gaming and interactive streaming analysis and forecast 2021 through 2026 report, which says cloud games and interactive streaming business will grow to $13.5 billion by 2026. This now, some of you might say that, and y'all might know the numbers for gaming overall by this time, and they're supposed to be like 258 billion. They're like, oh, that's horrible. Well, why is that so important? Here's why it's so important. Because just 2 years ago, NASDAQ said that cloud gaming was, in a year after that, in 2027, was going to be 7.2 billion. So literally, in just 2 years' time, has it even been 2 years? When did this article come out? No. Oh, is this that
super early?
That can't be this soon because I remember reading this last year. So really, in a year's time, cloud gaming has doubled in projections a year sooner.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to throw up there is Sony also says, you know how I like to connect the dots to everything. Sony also said that the global chip shortage is more serious than expected. And if you read the article, it tells you that we were thinking we were getting out of this in 2022, 2023. Maybe not. So we'll go Ninja Guy X, Daryl Smock, and then we'll close out with Pete on this one. I mean, what are your thoughts on cloud gaming not only doubling its projections, but what role do you think Stadia puts into all that or has in all that? We'll start with you, Ninja Guy X.
Yeah. So, the numbers are right there. So, they can't, there's nothing wrong with that. love seeing facts, love seeing numbers. It's awesome. I think Stadia has a big role because it's the only platform where you can actually buy your games without a subscription, right?
Yeah.
So if you're one of the guy who can't find a PlayStation 5, can't find a next gen console, Stadia can be your next gen console if you want to, and it's so that I do feel like they have a big role in that amount. They're one of the big guys. They're like one of the big four, I'd say. There's there's other stuff, but there's GFN, Luna, Stadia, and xCloud. I think all of these four are very important right now to bring good things towards Stadia. And with the hardware shortage, I mean, it's the way to go. This is why I basically went with Stadia. I just didn't want to bother hunting for consoles. It's just I'm just tired of limited stuff. So I just said whatever, went with Stadia. So these numbers make sense. I think before the pandemic, it would make sense that the numbers would be lower. But now with all what's happening, the data must have make this go stronger just because of the shortage of stuff because of that. So I like it. It's very promising, and I'm happy that I went with the cloud way in a way. Yeah.
It seems like you made the right bet. My friends will tell me,
exactly.
They'll tell me, Ninja Guy X, you made the wrong bet, and I'm like, no, it's going to be a slower burn. It's a slower burn, like how physical games are. We know the B's, G's are still consoles and native PCs, but this is something that if you invest in it and you get your knowledge base up on it now, it's going to be very fruitful to you as far as gaming is concerned in the future.
I was still planning on buying a console because still not having all of my needs, because they don't have all of the genres that I'm interested in. But I think the only thing that was missing was like a good arcade first-person shooter. And if XDefiant deliver that, then I don't think I'll be hunting for any next-gen console afterwards.
Awesome, absolutely. Smock, what are your thoughts on this doubling in projections in just a year, maybe a little bit over a year, and what role do you think Stadia has in these projections doubling?
My thoughts on this is hard to. If people see this, there's two types of people. There's people going to see this Stadia's involved. That Stadia is at the forefront of cloud gaming right now. No other cloud gaming services is trending worldwide. Like on Twitter, no other cloud services is doing that. So when Stadia, like I said earlier, Stadia came out the gate, strong, saying this, we're here. You feel me? Then there's other people's like, man, there's people that think Stadia has a lot to do with this, and there's people that think, oh, there's no way Stadia is, in this number, but both thinking about Stadia. You feel me? Like when you think of cloud gaming, you think of Stadia. There's no way you don't. There might be a select few that really don't be on the internet like that or don't keep up with anything. Then but Stadia, I think, played a huge role in this. and the fact that it's doubling, I think is only Stadia's only going to keep getting better. Like I keep seeing in the chat, somebody, I don't know who's saying it, but somebody keeps saying that Stadia is only going to get better, and it's true. Stadia is only going to keep getting better. It's an ever evolving platform. You know, they could literally upgrade at any time.
Yep.
You know, but yeah, Stadia is at the forefront of this number. I don't know how much. I don't know what the specific number is, and I also want to know what is cloud gaming to games industry.biz. What is cloud gaming to them? Like, what do they think? What happened?
Sorry, I was just letting y'all know I'm back. I'm sorry if I disappeared for a second.
That's all right. No, that's a good question because, as you know, Smock, and as Pete knows as well, along with Ninja Guy, GameIndustry.biz hasn't always been as kind to Stadia. And what I find a little odd here, because GameIndustry.biz kind of reminds me of the what do you call that? The not NPR, but the national review or whatever of gaming. Like there's that group of editors and stuff like that where they're like the cream of the crop, and that's what GameIndustry.biz is in all things other gaming except for Stadia. For some reason, Stadia rubs them the wrong way, and I find it.
Look at Rosie.
I find it interesting that there's no talk, there's no breakdown of these numbers, or GameIndustry.biz didn't try to deep dive into this deeper to see what is making this phenomenal growth, because that's a phenomenal growth to double your projections in a year. That's insanity. You know what I mean? So
right.
Awesome stuff. Pete, what we were talking about is this cloud gaming article that the projections have pretty much doubled. They've gone from 7 billion in 2027 to now 13.5 billion a year sooner. So they've doubled it in like a year. What do you think that means for cloud gaming, and how much of a role do you think Stadia played into that? Oh, he had to step away again. Okay. Oh, and Charles Arand, excuse me. Charles Arand said the Associated Press, the AP. Yes, that's who I meant. Not the National Review, the Associated Press. Thank you, Charles. Yeah, they're like the AP gaming. We got another interesting comment from Soul Home Studio. They said when the New York Times talk about cloud gaming, the name they use as the placeholder is Google Stadia. That's interesting. I never knew that. I got to check out the articles. I got to check out the article, and rightfully so. You know what I mean?
There's just no way you can mention cloud gaming without mentioning Stadia. Like they go hand in hand.
Yep. We'll close out with this. I want to know from the panel. I think we all agree, reasonably so, whether Stadia is the leader in this or whatever, that they are a major contributor in this. I don't think there's any way around that. You know what I mean? With that being the case, what does that say to the people that may be less aware? What does that say when they say Stadia is a flop? It flopped. What do you think about that now, seeing these numbers, Ninja Guy X?
Yeah, like I said, in the last 3 weeks, we haven't heard much about these guys. You know, like there's the usual Reddit people, you know, just complaining. But yeah, man, like these numbers, they don't lie. You know, like that's all I have to say. I mean, I think that as long as Google doesn't show us something as bad as what happened in February, I think that it's going great. Like it's heading in a very positive way there. Like next year, I think we're gonna start seeing like some journalism getting pretty positive about the thing. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting year.
Awesome. I totally agree. Smock, what are your thoughts? You think when you hear flop, even though the cloud gaming business, I had a very interesting conversation where someone told me, that cloud gaming will never get to where dedicated device gaming is at. And even though I feel like GFN isn't for me, GFN is doing some excellent things, and they actually closed the gap when it comes to textures and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, and they've been able to do that. And again, as we've talked to different developers, they said that they've seen the enhanced version of Stadia. You expect us to see even more. So with all that out there in the ethos, what do you think when you hear that Stadia flopped?
So I was trying to find a quote that an independent rapper said. It kind of goes hand in hand. Like Google Stadia is an independent rapper of the cloud gaming business. They did this without without the support of like big publishers. They're doing this from the ground up, and they're just trying to make their name in the they're just trying to make their name in the business. They're just trying to provide services to new people. Stadia didn't flop. It's just not part of the big market yet.
The mainstream,
exactly. It's not mainstream. It's the quote would have been so perfect for this. I wish I could. I promise you it. Man,
if you can find it, put it on Twitter. We'll put it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Stadia is far from flopping, bro. Stadia knows what they're doing. They're way, way better. They're hundreds of times better than what people think that they are. And it's just, it's like people, they're gonna recognize it within time. All Stadia needs is time to really iron out everything. Even though it's pretty crisp right now, they're just gonna keep adding, they're gonna keep adding to it and just keep getting better. And Stadia is. I think it's fair to say Stadia is a leading platform in cloud gaming because no other cloud gaming out here is doing what Stadia is doing. Nobody's really making an effort to get their name out there the same way Stadia is. No other cloud platform, did pop-up shops. No other cloud platform literally was number one viral in the world on Twitter. No other cloud platform is added that much value year over year to their lineup. So it's like, it's like Stadia didn't flop. In fact, they're profiting. It's just that people don't see it. They don't talk about that side of Stadia.
I think a big sign that they're profiting too is the fact that when they went to that different revenue service, when they were paying people for putting their games in Stadia Pro.
Yeah.
But when they were compensating them, they said before the month was out, people were seeing more money. What I'm saying? So again, you just got to follow
dying
the
business
numbers.
Doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Dying business doesn't do that. A dying business doesn't open up a physical store in New York.
Exactly. Let alone on one of the prime spots to do that. I will never get that. A dying business doesn't open up a brick and mortar store. A dying business doesn't communicate more. A dying business doesn't bring up games. If a business is dying, they're throwing every single thing on sale. They're ending future payments for everything, and they're closing up shop. That's what happens when a business is dying, but that's not what's happening now.
Well, that's the power of misinformation, Pete, because everybody's using Google Graveyard. That was in a conversation I had earlier today. They're known for closing stuff. And I didn't get a chance to say this. I said, but you do realize that Microsoft closed more paid-for services than Google, for one.
Exactly.
And
Google,
you can't compare Stadia.
Kill.
You can't compare Stadia to Google Glass. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God,
you can't compare Stadia to a clock app. Come on now. What are we doing here?
No. You forget Google Reader and Stadia are apparently the same thing and on the same scale because it's by Google, according to Twitter.
The thing to consider also is that the Graveyard, even when they change their name, they go in the Graveyard. So maybe Google Stadia will be named like Google
Yeah.
whatchamacallit.
Exactly.
And then Stadia will be considered the graveyard, but
It'll be
it's all like
exactly.
yeah,
Yep.
it's the same thing.
Absolutely. So, well, gentlemen, that was a hell of a show. Wow. Fantastic as always. Give this panel a round of applause. I can't do more than that. Fantastic responses, and that's why I was burning to have these questions answered by you guys. Great stuff. So let's do this. Just so everybody's aware, we're not going to have an after show today because we're on a different day and I threw off everybody's schedule. But what I do urge you all to do is check out my little 17-minute video on our good friend Tom Warren. You know what I mean? I got a little video on him. Check it out, members. Check it out. We're gonna go
Get your
around the
blood
panel.
pressure rising there with that video.
Look, it's Tom, and it's like I had a conversation, Ninja Gaix, with Virtual Cloud. Used to be a Gen Stadia on Twitter, and that's what helped me because I made the video and it was going to be an SDO daily, like I put out in the day, and I said, you know what, I don't want to put this out here because it's going to seem like that I'm being too negative on GFM. And I don't want Tom to make it seem like that. But then I talked to Virtual VC, and he said, and he's a big fan of this new 3080 tier, and he said, you know what, even though I am, pretty much, and I'm paraphrasing, Tom, what the hell is he talking about? Like, the latency on Stadia is insanely good, and I'm like, I don't know, VC. This dude is just off his. He's looking for anything to pivot off of to downplay Stadia. So, and I said, you know what? Let me just put the video out here for the members for y'all to see and just see his latest tactics. But check that out in replace of us doing an after party today. With that said, let's go around the panel. Let's start with Pete. Pete, let the good people know where they can find you at, my good friend.
All right, guys. So as always, you can find me at Twitter at foremost_GG on Twitter. I am currently in the process of transition and moving. I have internet for now, but then we're going to be actually moving into our 2-bedroom and stuff at the end of the month. So I'll probably disappear for a little while again. But you can find me there. Once I'm fully settled in, I will be going on to our favorite pntsnetwork.com, and I will start doing content there as well. Also, Moss, question.
Yes, sir.
Before I go, can we do
Let's
the
talk
reveal
about it. Yeah,
right
I'm
now?
glad you said something because you know me, I'm old. I forget. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, man, you do be forgetting, man. The dementia's starting to set in.
Yo, that's funny.
I'm self-aware. Go ahead.
So, for everyone that is part of the PNTS network right now, I made a new server that we'll be bringing up here live shortly.
Yep.
It is very neat looking.
Yes.
Has all your favorite channels that you still want to do.
Woo.
Bots are all set up and pretty much ready to go. I'm excited for you guys to see it. Yeah, so once that gets live, we will definitely be bringing the new PNTS network Discord back up, and everyone is free to join in.
Yep.
But yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter. You can find me lurking around on Reddit occasionally. Mainly on Discord as well. And then, like I said, once I'm settled in, I will definitely be posting to PNTS Network with my clips, my screenshots, because I be posting it to Twitter all the time. So I can definitely post it there too.
Awesome stuff. And round of applause to our good friend Pete. He did a hell of a job. Wait till y'all see this Discord. It's been my fault that I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. But what I wanted to do was get the people that are in the old Discord in the new one first. And then we're going to open it up to everybody because it was kind of closed off just for our Patreon members. But now I think we got moderation in mind and everything and stuff like that. So I think we're good to go. But Pete did a hell of a job on that Discord, and I can't wait for you guys to check it out. It's a great job, Pete. We got Daryl Smock. Smock, can you let the good people know where they can find you at, my good friend?
You can find me on Twitter at N2OLA. I'm a free tweeter out there, so just take that into consideration. Also, You can find me on Instagram. I post a lot of videos on Instagram, like more motivational stuff or more like topics that I like to talk about. Just me talking. You can find me on YouTube gaming at Daryl Smock Jr. You know, if you ever want to catch me live streaming some Destiny, some Crew 2, some Outriders or whatever. Like if you want to watch me live, you can catch me on there. You can find me on the PNTS Network website. You know, you can look at my beautiful face. No, I'm just playing.
Let's bring that beautiful beam footage up. Yeah, let's bring that face back up.
Yeah, bring it back.
But you can find me on the PNTS Network, and it'll have all my links on there. So yeah, I'm pretty much everywhere.
That is a wonderful face, Smock.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome stuff.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff. And last but certainly not least, Ninja Guy X, and please don't forget to do a promo for your fantastic show tomorrow. Let everybody know where they can find you at.
Yeah. First of all, I just like to say that I can't wait for that new Discord, man. Like I'm a big Discord junkie, so I'm looking forward to that. Nice. So yeah, you guys, you can find me on Ninja Guy X on Twitter. And it's Ninja Guy Space X on YouTube. So don't want to brag too much, but I'm one of the only Stadia content creators who have a consistent schedule as a streamer. So awesome. I stream from Monday to Friday from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. every day. Weekends is where I take time and hang out with my beautiful fiance. And yeah, so that's about it. On Friday, from 4:30 p.m. to whatever when we want to finish, we have Eastern time. We have I have this show with John Scar. It's called Stadium Connect North, and we just talk about news. And it's very focused on positiveness of Stadia and on the community. So it's very cool. We have cool segments. We have interviews with the community members. We have Game of the Week. We also open the chat at the end of the show with just with things that you want to say, you know, questions that you have for us and stuff like that. It's a very fun show. Really like it. But tomorrow when I'll be talking, I'll probably be promoting MM2K's podcast and say as much positive things on there. So no, I love these podcasts. They're great. That's why I'm always here every week. And yeah, thank you guys for the support.
Oh, awesome stuff. Thank you. And y'all know where to find me. I'm MM2K, the loudmouth of the Stadia community. You can find me here on StadiaDosage. You can find me on MM2K videos. We got a lot of surprises coming year 3 Stadia on StadiaDosage. Less of my loudmouth, and you're going to see a lot of content creators, a lot of different content. We tested it out this past Saturday. You're going to see some more of that. Where you're gonna see the best that the community has to offer here on StadiaDosage. So stay tuned for that. And that's it. So with that said, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you for your patience and your support for joining us, not being on a regular night. We will be back next week, Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless something kooky happens. But with that said, thank you everybody, and have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.
Bye, guys.